Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but today I really wanted to talk about a specific film that I was really excited for, and let's just talk about it. The film I'm talking about is Evil Dead Rise. This film really sparked my interest when the trailer came out. I was really fascinated by it, and so I went and saw it. I have thoughts, and I want to get them out, and this is a good platform to do that sort of thing. So I will be talking some spoilers, but not until the end of the video, so I will warn you beforehand in case you haven't seen it, but hopefully you have. So I have a sort of a long history with the Evil Dead franchise. When I was pretty young, I saw the original films, and I remember them to be pretty frightening, but not traumatizing. I enjoyed them. I thought they were fun, scary films. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that Army of Darkness was actually my favorite because it kind of got out of that cabin setting and instead it brought It brought Ash to the past, and it was a cool thing. So it was always the standout in my mind. As for the 2013 film, I saw it once. I don't really remember that much about it, to be honest with you. I kind of found it forgettable. I know that's not the most popular opinion. A lot of people really love that film. I just don't remember a lot about it. And it's very possible that Cabin in the Woods had just come out the year before. And in my mind, that overshadowed this other movie about a cabin in the woods, so that's probably why I just never remembered much about it. But when I saw the trailer for Evil Dead Rise, I was instantly hooked. I was interested. I wanted to know more. What interested me more was the fact that they were not in the cabin anymore. Thank gosh. There's only so much you can do in an isolated cabin in the woods. So I'm glad that we finally took that step in that direction. And then the other thing was that it was a family dynamic as opposed to, a bunch of teenagers who may or may not deserve what they're getting. This was a family in a high-rise apartment in Los Angeles. So someplace that you're generally supposed to feel safe and comforted is where the most unspeakable evil gets unleashed. So I was drawn to that, and it's a movie. No, I actually really liked this film. I loved it, actually. I loved the scares. I loved the insults. I loved the psychological torment. For me, it was a standout horror film where in a market that's kind of saturated with them. When you first get in to see the film, it has an awesome title card sequence. It actually gave me goosebumps right off the bat. A lot of tension, a lot of suspense, and I was very excited when I saw the first 10 minutes of the film. It takes place in a high-rise apartment in Los Angeles. It's a mom and her 3 kids, and then her estranged sister. I loved that it's a family because it just adds a whole other layer of emotional horror to the already shocking, insane, gruesome things that are going on, because it's a family member. For the characters in this movie, there's a certain level of empathy there because you're able to put yourself in their shoes and what would I do if my mom started crawling on the walls, So I really loved that aspect of it. This film also has some really good one-liners. I'm hoping to get a t-shirt that says "Mommy's with the maggots now." Hopefully that becomes a thing because I want it. There are a lot of really subtle, creepy things in this movie. There's a sequence that's in the trailer with, the mom in the background crawling around on the wall. Just awesome. I don't really think there are any jump scares in this film, to be honest with you, and that was so refreshing. I would much rather have just a really tense, suspenseful, creepy moment as opposed to a jump scare. It just it pays off more, and it's more memorable. A couple things that I didn't like in this movie. I actually thought it was too short. I left the theater feeling not 100% satisfied. I just think that the movie could have done with another 20-30 minutes, even if it was just story or character development. It did not have to be like the horror part of it. I just wanted more from it. To be honest, I loved what we got. I think we could have gotten more. And then there were a couple of plot conveniences that bugged me just a hair, and I'll talk about those specifically in spoilers, but other than that, I really loved this film. It's great when a horror film comes out that people are excited about, because it tells filmmakers and studios that this is what we want more of. We want this sort of thing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit of some spoilers. I do definitely recommend this movie, think it's fantastic, but now I do want to talk some specific plot points. One of my favorite things, and actually favorite sequences in this film, was how the book gets read. When you go back to the 2013 version, there's a character who finds the book, and it's wrapped in barbed wire, and he cuts the barbed wire, opens the book. There's big, bold, red letters, "Don't read it." Don't say it, don't even think it, whatever. And he still does it. He still reads from the freaking book. And that drives me nuts. That drives me crazy. Such a stupid decision. It's hard to forgive. And I know people will say that, oh, it's demonic influence, or it's manipulating you, whatever, into reading it. It's dumb. But in this film, the son finds a book in the underground after an earthquake. He also finds vinyl records, and he plays this vinyl record of the priest talking about the book, and then he starts to read from it. Very creepy sequence. His voice gets all demonic, and the speakers start to like warp and blah, 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 blah. Very creepy. Loved it. Gave me goosebumps. Terrific example of the phenomenal sound design in this film. Really just top notch. I thought that was a very smart way to do it, because the boy even tries to stop the record, but what's done is done, basically. So finally we have some semi-intelligent horror film characters. They're few and far between, and when we get them, I rejoice. I loved also the possession sequence of the mom. And it is a sequence, essentially. It's a kind of a slow burn, gradual thing. It's not like instantaneous, like it has been in some of the original films where somebody turns around and they're a deadite and they're possessed. It was kind of a slower, gradual thing from the point where she gets attacked brutally in the elevator to the time that the demon starts to do its thing. She basically is able to kind of fight it for a while when she comes in and she looks at her family and tells them, "It's in me. Please don't hurt my babies." Really, wow. Really good stuff. And then she dies before she's kind of resurrected. There are really great moments in here when she gets up on the bathroom wall and like screams at the top of her lungs. That was great. Loved it. The actress actually looked like she had a really fun time doing this, and I'm kind of jealous. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the plot convenience that specifically that I had in mind. I think we're just a little fuzzy on the details and the rules of these beings and how they come into human bodies. So there's a point where the mom attacks Beth and she stabs her in the face with scissors, like up her nose. And Beth is able to use that moment to escape, and it's just a little lazy. Why do the spirits or demons do they obey the laws of the bodies that they adopt? Like, if you shoot somebody in the head who's possessed, does the demon die, or does it come back? Does the body die and the demon has to like do CPR? Like, I don't quite understand how that works, and it's never really been explained. It was just a little convenient for me that she was able to get away after that. Other than that, I loved this film. I liked the ending. I liked the monster at the end. I think that was pretty cool and really well done. Mostly practical from what I've heard, actually, which is really impressive. I know that's not an easy thing to do, but Lee Cronin, the director, when he was asked about it, said that the creature at the end is kind of like the worst version of family and the family dynamic, how they're all just conjoined together and really weird, but I enjoyed it. I really love this film. I want to see more. I would love for there to be like an anthology where every Evil Dead film is a different story in a different time, in a different setting. That would be awesome. Would love to go back to the past and explore more about these Necronomicons. We know that there are 3 of them from Army of Darkness. How did they come to be? Who wrote them? Where did they come from? I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I kind of want answers to. So hopefully we get that, and it doesn't take 10 years this time. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you thought of the film in the comments if you watched it, because I would love to discuss.